get your life back to normal. Lonnie with Restore It Restoration.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Service Guys podcast. I'm your co-host, producer Ruel Abadam, and your other host, Lonnie Beecham, is not here at this moment. We are scheduled to record the next episode later in the day for your enjoyment, but today we figured we'd do something different. What we have is something from the archives. No, not the archives from Service Guys podcast, but the archives from Ruel's Running podcast, which is my original podcast. And I've had the opportunity to the honor of having Lonnie on several podcasts episodes on that show. And what we're going to present on this episode was recorded a couple years ago, and Lonnie and I get into a lot of things. We get into family and health and food, and we talk about his business at Restore It Restoration and some of the things that he does in his industries, his service industries, and we also get into sort of our adolescent stories of our adolescent hijinks and all that good stuff, if that even makes any sense. It was a whole lot of fun then, and having re-listened to it cracked me up so hard. And so essentially, when we look back at this episode or listen back, we realize this was the beginnings of what was to become the Service Guys podcast. Obviously, with more focus on what people do in their service industry. But the dynamic, I feel, is what's captured pretty well in this earlier recording. So on behalf of Lonnie Beecham at Restore It Restoration and myself, Ruel Abadam, enjoy this presentation. Catch you next week on another and new episode of the Service Guys podcast. Bye for now.
Podcasting from somewhere in the San Francisco Bay Area, the birthplace of Bruce Lee, the iPhone, and the bendy straw. This is Ruel's Running Podcast, a podcast about running, health, family, play, and an NSNG lifestyle. And now, here's your host, Ruel.
There was a dream a million miles away. There was fire.
Hey Lonnie, it's Ruel. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. What's going on?
I'm recording. Is this the right number to call you at?
Sure, this works. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this should be fun. Haven't done this in a while.
No, it's been, has it been a year? 6 months?
I think so. You are the first caller guest for the podcast for 2016.
Am I really? Well, I know who your next two are.
Yeah, let's see how that pans out if rescheduling doesn't throw things off.
Well, I was just talking to Anna. She told me I'm at 1, she's at 3, and Vinny's at 4 or something like that.
Yeah, so Anna's sort of she's sort of I say tentative because I know she's did you just talk to her recently?
Yeah, just literally I got some breaking news from her 5-10 minutes ago, and
okay.
And I told her I'll share the news with the group once I get off the podcast with you. So
awesome.
And I guess I can share with you and your audience now, because by the time this comes out, it'll be public knowledge. But she has her ebook now ready that we've all been waiting for. So. She asked me to make a post in the group to let everybody know that her ebook is available on Kindle through Amazon. So
nice. That's
and
awesome.
The title of her book is Eat Happy by Anna Vocino.
Nice.
So I'm sure she'll tell you all about it. So you're getting breaking news before anybody else.
Well, I appreciate you breaking the news here. Yeah, that's cool. I have her lined up for 3 our time. I mean Pacific time.
Right.
and then after her, I have Vinny lined up.
Right.
So it's going to be a pretty hectic schedule. I tried to get Mark Thompson on, but it was just too last minute. He's in the middle of the office and he can't record. So I recorded sort of a regular show where I was Skype chatting with him, and then I was running the regular sort of episode and mixing in. Oh, here's Mark Thompson, and then I'm asking questions for the audience to hear, and then reading out his responses. So I was getting all over the place.
Cool. Yeah, Mark's a neat guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So how are things, man?
Man, today I'm on top of the world. A lot of stress has been relieved off my shoulders from a nightmarish job of mine that just would not go away. But now everything's perfect.
Nice.
You've seen pictures of my mold job that I'm working on, where I'm pulling out the subfloors and all that.
Yeah.
Well, that's turned into a big lead abatement, asbestos abatement, mold remediation, and now we're doing some other work. It's a nightmare, but she knows she's on page. She's on the same page as I am, so all is good. Wow. And I'm rained out, so I can't do anything there, so I'm good to go.
So you're podcasting with me.
Yes. Yeah. So what are we talking about today? Do you have an agenda? You just asked me if I had time today, and I said sure, but I don't know what you want to talk about.
No, I don't have an agenda, so hopefully we can make a good show out of it. I know in the past we've talked about type 2 diabetes and blood sugar related stuff, so we don't have to go through that conversation. But I just wanted to catch up. It's been over 6 months. I haven't had you on the phone, so we can just talk whatever we want.
Cool. Well, I got some time. It's raining really, really hard here, so I'm rained out. So, well, I got some news I haven't shared with you yet. I don't even know if I've told Trey. I think I have. But my baby girl, she's 10 years old, and she had like a low blood sugar episode about a month ago.
Oh no!
We can't get in to see the doctor until a couple more weeks. But I did a home A1C test on her, and all the junk that she eats is finally catching up with her. Her A1Cs are 5.4, and she's only 10 years old. So yeah, we're going to be going down that rabbit hole here pretty soon. She's wanting to wait, start eating right until after the doctor's appointment. I'm like, you might as well just start now, hon.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, it's tough with kids though, trying to get them to eat right whenever all they've ever had, for 10 years, 10 and 12 years now is nothing but. My oldest actually eats pretty good. She'll eat almost anything I make. She loves onions, she loves bacon, she loves broccoli and eggs, stuff like that. But my baby girl, if it's not chicken nuggets, Pop-Tarts, potato chips, and I feel horrible every time I see her eat that stuff. And I know people say, just don't have the stuff in your house and they'll eventually eat. Well, we've tried it. She's actually gone 3 days without eating. It's like, no, you need to eat. So it's like, whatever, I guess put something in her belly, even if it's not what it needs to be.
Yeah. So when you say she started having low blood sugar, what is it? Symptoms?
Yeah, she was, she got real nauseous, real dizzy, started sweating profusely, and and we checked her blood sugar, and it actually wasn't that low. It was only like 72, but she was having a hypoglycemic episode, and her body was saying it was too low, and it was wanting to shut down. And she was at a camp, and 1 minute she said she was fine and it wasn't even that hot. Next thing you know, she just laying on the ground just because she's too weak, felt like she was going to puke, and just sweating. She said it soaked her shirt and everything.
Wow.
So,
man. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's horrible, crazy, and I've been riding the the train of, hey, my daughters have the family history of diabetes. We need to start pretending and eating like they should. And now my wife is still of the impression that kids need carbs and they need sugar, and she won't believe me whenever I say, no, nobody needs carbs and sugars. But yeah, August 2nd or 4th or something like that, we have our doctor's appointment.
Oh, gee. Okay.
But he's on board. He's on board with, I paid him $300 to have him literally tell me I need to eat more fat. And I'm like, no kidding. I know that. That's what I'm paying you for. I'm paying you for knowledge I already know.
The next time you need somebody to tell you something you already know, pay me that $300 and I'll tell you it twice.
Sounds like a fair deal.
Well, your daughter's lucky to have you kind of on top of things and help guide her through. I can only imagine what it's like for other households who may have children who go through stuff like that and are lost and maybe not given the best advice on how to treat stuff, and everyone tries to do the best they can. But man, she'll be all right. You got her back. You're taking care of her.
Yeah, she'll come around. She'll come around.
Trey doesn't know. So what's Trey's reaction going to be like?
I can't remember if I told him or not. I think I might have. I can't remember. He's had some things kind of fall in his lap unexpectedly, and I can't remember if I told him, but yeah, he's going to be like I am. Well, you know what to do. You know how to feed her. Just do it. But he's not a dad, so he don't know what it's like to starve your kid for 3 days, trying to wait him out. And she's stubborn. She is incredibly stubborn. Knowing
what knowing what I know, kind of the similar things we know, being part of sort of the low carb, high fat, NSNG, all that whole blood sugar controlling community, if you will, I guess.
Right.
The struggle is real as a parent. You know better, like you said, and it's easy to say, just don't have stuff in the house, like you said, and then your kids will eat right. But it's not as easy as it's said, is it?
Oh, no, it's not, and it actually is upsetting whenever I just see those posts in the Vinny Toward the Riches No Sugar No Grains group. Well, just don't have it in the house, and they'll eat. I'm like, well, I didn't want to go past 3 days. If she was stubborn, I don't know if she was sneaking food from somewhere else. I don't know. I don't think she has any food hidden in her room.
Yeah, but and your kids have to be somewhere, if they're in school or they're at camp or something. And if they're not eating, then they can't be where they need to be, and then that takes a toll on how your day goes. So there's this weird balance that and sacrifice that you gotta do. Like my kid today, he made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I mean, it's something new for him, making those sandwiches, and the bread is not good. I know that, but the best thing on that thing is the peanut butter. The jelly, we know
that's questionable.
Yeah, and that's right. But it's like,
Yeah, everybody has to live and learn.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he has the stuff every day, but do the best as a parent to educate. I'm thankful that at least my kids, they don't walk into a store and then kick and scream as we leave the store wanting this candy or that candy or this soft drink or whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah, my kids always beg for gum, and I hate gum with a passion. Not as much as Trey. Trey has a whole psychological thing about gum, but I hate it for just as many reasons, because they do nothing but fight, and then they steal each other's gum, and then one will put, all 5 pieces in their mouth, and they chew it up, and in 20 minutes it's gone, and then they go steal the other ones, and then it's a big fight, and I find it in my driveway, and it's like, oh, No. Every time they asked me for gum, I was like, nope, you got to wait till your grandmother buys it for you because I'm not buying it.
Oh, man. You want to hear a story about yesterday with my kids?
Sure.
So we go out for dinner because we've spent most of the afternoon, trying to get everybody together. People leave camp and preschool and are done with work, and I got to round folks up. And by the time everybody's in the same vehicle, we have to decide: are we close enough home to figure out what to eat at home, or are we close enough to a restaurant or something that we can pick something up to eat? So we went out.
Sure, we all do that.
Yeah, we went out to eat, and we went out to a place where next door is a Menchie's. I know Vinny's mentioned it on his podcast. Menchie's, that yogurt place.
Oh yeah.
And we've gone there many times. A lot of times when we get food at a particular restaurant nearby, the kids want to default to, I want to go over there, I want to go over there. And we've gone there so many times post-meal that the kids have that expectation and that habit. And yesterday, I wasn't having it. I'm like, we're done with grabbing a bite to eat. We're just going to hop in the vehicle and go. But my middle kid was insistent, and he was not happy. He wanted to go to this yogurt place, and he was pissed. And
yeah.
we're getting pissed back, and then the youngest one doesn't like the vibe in the vehicle, so she's starting to be upset, right?
All because you wouldn't give them yogurt.
Yeah,
you're a bad daddy. I'm a bad daddy.
I'm a horrible dad. And then the oldest kid, who's sitting between the two younger siblings, he's sitting there wondering why the iPad ran out of power. So he's like, it isn't charging. And then we're like, be quiet. Don't you see? Yeah, your brother and sister are kind of upset right now. The last thing we need is all three of you kind of like whining and moaning and crying about stuff. So
it's all about priorities.
And so then on the drive home, and the two youngest are not happy. And so my youngest son, the middle kid, he's kind of just that little kid cry where your diaphragmatic control is off, and you're like, you're sniffling and like sound like you're gagging at the same time, and
right,
and hiccuping and all of that stuff. He got that wound up about not getting his yogurt at that crappy place, right?
Yeah, we have a Yo-Yums. Is this place one of those you serve yourself and put all the toppings that you want on there, and then they weigh it and you pay so much by the pound?
Yeah, which is basically it's not quality yogurt, and then you get to top it off because you're special. You're treating yourself by all these colorful toppings, and it's all just candy, crumbled.
Right.
I looked at the whole menu, all the topping selections. The best thing, and it's not even the best thing, is the sliced strawberries and the blueberries. Who knows how what quality those are, but those are the only things I see.
Right.
Well, there's the crushed peanuts, but then those are probably roasted with junky oil. Stuff I don't tell my kids or my wife because I'll just be ruining the party like I did like I did yesterday. Nope, we're not going there. People kicking and screaming. But here's the thing, right? We're on the road. We're on the ride back home, and my kid's still trying to recover. He's dealing with all his spasmic, whatever, hiccupy, crying diaphragmatic issues. And then it's quiet other than all of his bodily noises. And then we hear
Oh no. From one of your kids?
He's 5 years old, right? Oh man. He should not have said that. He should not have said that at all, because
Where did he learn that word at?
Don't know. Do not know.
Oh, that's funny.
At 5, he's just done kindergarten. He's going into the first grade. No. He's actually he's shifted. So he's actually going into kindergarten at 5, right? I remember I was in the first grade when I first attempted to drop the MF phrase.
Right.
So, I get it. You're a kid. You hear stuff, and then you sort of experiment. You tie in a phrase or a word with a certain set of emotions that you've witnessed others do, and he's exploring his language, and he just happened to say, he used it correctly in his emotion. He used the word correctly, but then at his age, in front of us, that wasn't going to fly, and
No. But that's one of those words you can use in any context. It's a verb, it's a noun, it's an adjective, it's a, I don't know what all it is, but it's everything. You can use it in any term and it's still appropriate, or not appropriate, but it's in the right context.
Yep. It's like coconut oil. You can use it on anything.
Yeah.
You can eat it. You can use it as lube. Use it. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, I got a funny story for you.
Yeah.
So we had a family reunion for my mother-in-law's family over the weekend down at a resort 60 miles south of us.
Uh-huh.
And my 18-month-old niece just loves me. I mean, like if I'm in the same room, I am holding her, I'm walking her. She comes to me not over mom, but over her dad, over her grandfather, and even her grandmother and her aunts and cousins. I'm her uncle. So I was sitting there drinking black coffee, getting ready to leave and head home, and she asked, she tried to take a drink. I thought, well, she won't like this dark, black, bitter coffee. And lo and behold, that little girl, she loves black coffee.
Nice.
And she kept saying more. So I was giving her sip after sip, and I found out that I guess she had enough coffee that she did not take a nap Sunday afternoon like she was supposed to. But I thought, oh, well, I don't have to deal with her being crabby and crying and stuff. I sent her home to Grandma's house, all wired up on coffee for the first time ever. I was kind of proud of myself.
Nicely done.
That's what uncles are for.
You're nurturing another coffee drinker into this world, and I applaud you for that.
Yeah, and last night I brought my own dinner over to my in-laws. I ended up having to watch my nieces for a couple hours, 3 hours or something. So I brought over Anna's bacon broccoli thing that she has online, but I added onions and Brussels sprouts and spinach and onions and what else did I? Oh, and green beans. When that little girl chowed down on that, she was not having her apple. They got these little squeeze things now for babies. You just unscrew the cap off, and then they just kind of suck out applesauce or whatever's in it.
Yep.
She did not even want that crap. She wanted my green beans. I even gave her a little bit of spinach, and I mean, she just kept opening her mouth saying, ah. It was cute. It was funny.
Yeah, I love it when, kids get into the real food, and it makes you think, it makes me think, like, their body's been craving for this stuff, and they haven't had it before, or they haven't had it for a while, and this is just their body telling them, this is what I need right now. Going to town on...
Yeah, I texted her mom.
Going to town on Uncle Lonnie's green beans.
Yeah, I texted her mom and was like, oh, by the way, your baby here loves everything I just listed. And she's like, really? How'd you get her to eat it? And I just said, yeah, by one fork at a time. She's like, I never thought to try giving her broccoli or Brussels sprouts. I was like, oh, she loved them.
There you go.
Of course, it was roasted up in Villa Capelli olive oil. That's how I do mine, and the bacon grease from the drippings while it's cooking.
Oh yeah, I'll do that. I'll put olive oil and stuff, and the kids wouldn't even expect it, and then or even butter, some good butter, and I'm sure it helps. It's one of those other things that their body's probably craving. They don't get that ordinarily in the standard children's fare of space food,
right?
Packaged in squeezies with a little twisty top.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It wasn't around whenever I had kids, so it's new. Within my youngest is 10, so I don't know how long it's been around. But yeah, applesauce. Back to all that, I cringe when people give their kids apple juice and applesauce, and it's like, ugh, you're not doing them any favors. But I don't say nothing. It's not, it's not my place.
How long have
But when they're at my house, I will try to feed them right.
You're just talking about giving your niece a little taste of your coffee. My daughter does the same thing with mine. She'll, like I have a Starbucks cup with a little stopper on top of the lid, little stick.
Right.
She'll pull that thing right out. So it's got like a little dipping of coffee on it with a little heavy cream, and then she sticks it in her mouth and she goes, yum.
She likes that,
Yeah,
huh?
she likes it. Which, I don't have a problem with. But, people freak out. Like, oh, kids and coffee. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it.
Right. Well, my 12-year-old every Saturday morning, she has a cup of coffee with me, and she likes it black as well, or with cream. Or I'll even do up bulletproof coffee. She loves that. I'll even throw in a raw egg or two, and she loves it. She just loves coffee. She says, "Dad, I can't wait to get up and drink coffee with you every morning." And I said, "Oh,
how do you do?
Get up early.
How
enough.
do you do the one with the raw egg? How do you prepare that one?
Bulletproof style, but I just crack an egg or two in there and just blend it up. It doesn't turn out like egg drop soup. I mean, it's just creamy, golden, delicious goodness.
Wow! So
Makes it really rich.
you don't just you don't omit anything from the egg, like the whites or the yolk. You just drop the whole thing in there.
Just drop it in. Once I kick the blender on and get it all, twirling around in the canister, crack an egg in there. If a shell or two falls in there, oh well, just put it up.
Yeah.
And it's great. I found the recipe on Mark Sisson's Mark's Daily Apple, I think it is. I think he calls it a primal coffee.
Yeah. I remember the recipe, and I remember trying it one time. So you just do the coffee and the egg?
That's how I do it.
Just the coffee and the egg, no?
No, usually I haven't done this in a while. I don't do bulletproof coffee all that much. But no, I'll do the butter, the coconut oil, heavy cream, and an egg or two, and blend it all up. And I mean, sure, I'm full the rest of the day.
Yeah, I got to give it a try again. I've done it once, but I that thing where it's good for you, but your first try at it, you're not so impressed, but it may be one of those things.
No, I loved mine from the very first time I saw it. I thought, oh, that's good.
All right.
I like it.
I'll give it a shot again.
But I don't usually take the time to do that. And
yeah, I mean,
usually it's just black coffee, maybe some cream sometimes, but usually not. My wife she drinks coffee black with cream, and she has to have the cream, so I just make sure there's always enough cream for her. And every now and then I'll do cream, but yeah, I like coffee no matter how you want to slice it.
When did you start drinking coffee?
Oh, not until college. I mean, I grew up with my dad drinks 1 to 2 pots of coffee every day. So I've always tried it and never really liked it. Whenever I was in college, it had to have sugar and had to have, all the junk in it and flavored creams. And I had to really just size it up. And then once I just kind of cut out sugars and grains, it just kind of like, I drank first black coffee not until I was 35.
I see.
Up until then, it was just doctored up and camouflaged, and just kind of the very first cup was kind of bitter, and then but something about it just kept me going back, and now that's how I drink my coffee, is black or cream. I'm not opposed to putting cream in it. Back in my restaurant days, we had chocolate pump and fudge both, and I would squirt chocolate or fudge directly in my coffee and blend it up, and that was great.
Oh my God!
Pounds got packed on.
Yeah, your restaurant days
tasted awesome.
I didn't know you.
Yeah, you didn't know?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, I actually have a degree in hotel restaurant management.
No kidding. Check you out. Huh.
Yep. I have a college degree that I am absolutely not using. No, I can't say that. In the food handling side of things, we learned about microorganisms and bacteria and, foodborne illnesses, and a lot of the same, when I'm in a house that has sewage or something in the basement, I have to, believe it or not, I have to clean out the area under the wood framing that's up against the concrete. I have to clean that out and make sure that there's no E. coli and other listeria and other bacteria to make anybody sick. So I guess I love the microbiology of it, and I use that part of it, but that's it.
So does any of your your work take you to restaurant establishments, sort of repair, restoration, and whatnot?
I have a time or two. I generally try to avoid commercial settings just because it's usually they want up and running yesterday, and then they don't somehow seem to come up with the money to pay you.
Yeah.
They want everything under the sun done for free, and then you tell them, oh, you owe me this much money, and what? That's highway robbery. I'm not paying you that. And it's like, yeah, and I don't want to fight you in court, brother.
And they try to pay you in food.
Yeah, I have done that. I did a pizza joint here locally, and then he gave me like $40 gift cards to his pizza joint. I'm like, great, thanks. And I just passed them out to my next customers as a thank you.
Ah, neat.
Like, now I'm not gonna use it.
Now, what made you decide on getting a degree in what was it? What did you call it? Food and restaurant?
Hotel restaurant.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, truthfully, whenever I was in high school, I only worked evenings and weekends and Christmas breaks and summer breaks, and even during the school year, I was still pulling down like $1,000 a month living at home. 16 years old, I was bussing tables and but I was still pulling down $1,000 a month, and I was thinking, man, if I had a college degree in this, I could have my boss's job and I'd be making $10,000 a month. I remember thinking that, and little did I know at the time he was probably only making $2,500 a month. But that's literally how I kind of got into. That's how I got into the restaurant field. I liked it. I liked working nights and sleeping in until noon and having my afternoons free and going into work, and then we all hung out and partied and ran around after work, and I was in my much younger, more wild days than I am now. So I don't know. I just like the food business. It's fun. But I got out of that. Then I got into the investment planning, financial planning business for 5 years. That was interesting. Kind of hated it. So got out of that and got actually a competitor lives 4 doors down from me, and he half-heartedly asked me every 3 to 6 months to come to work for him. And finally one day I said, well, show me the money. And he took me into a fire that I had never seen a fire in a house before. And I said, you know how to do this? He said, yeah. And looking back on it, I could walk you through it and tell you how to do it over the phone. It was a do-nothing fire, but I had never seen it, and I thought it was like the most catastrophic thing I've ever seen in my life, and kind of got sold on it ever since, and been doing that.
Wow. And that's the story of Lonnie.
Yep, pretty much. And then for 15 years, I've been doing this, so doing the restoration business.
So, from the
I got Anna. Anna's actually texting me right now.
Nice.
Okay. Okay. So she's wanting me to throw it out there on the group. Her link to her ebook right now.
Okay.
So, or I do it after I'm done podcasting with Ruel.
It's like, no, do it now. And
Yeah, so did you ever get to try the hydrogen peroxide trick I told you?
Say it again?
Did you ever get to try the hydrogen peroxide trick that I told you?
I heard, did you ever try the cross-eyed trick I showed you? I'm like, huh, what? No, I haven't. I haven't, no. But it's funny, I was Skype chatting with Bentley, with Rick.
Yeah.
I wanted to see if I can pull him into on a call real quick, but he was like, we're 10 minutes away from podcasting. We're going to have Anna on. So I was like, oh, cool. So she must have just wrapped up.
I knew she was coming up.
She must have just wrapped up with them.
Yeah, so you're making the rounds asking everybody to be on your show.
Well, I'm trying to make the most of the day because I've decided to just take the day out of the office. I told my boss and coworkers that I was going to be gone. So, yeah, so just trying to make the best of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but, like one caller already had to reschedule. It just wasn't working out, which is the thing. Wait, hey, when do you want to do your thing?
Well, you and I keep talking about it, and then when I get a minute, yeah, you have life stuff going on, and then you get caught up, and then I'm knee deep in muddy water or something. I don't know. I just need somebody to tell me how to flip it on and make it work. I still need to go buy the SD card and actually probably read the book, since I've never even actually read the book yet. It is sitting on my home office desk, though, but I still haven't had a chance or taken the time when I should have read that book by now and figured out how to make that thing work.
Yeah, the folks are...
But you know me, man, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not technology adverse, but I just want to flip a switch, make it work, and be done. I don't want to know all the in and outs and whys and hows and all that stuff. I just want to hit the power button and the record button, and I just need to sit down and learn how to make that happen.
Yeah. So what folks don't know what we're talking about is Lonnie and I have talked offline many times about a podcast for him, and that's what we're talking about. Hey, you know what, Lonnie? I've been hearing about services that basically do, kind of what you're describing. All it takes is for you to provide the audio file, and then everything else is sort of part of a service. I don't know how it's structured, but that's something that I can try and point you to, or maybe it might be something that I might be able to help do with you or for you or something. It's just stuff we can continue kind of going back and forth with. I like doing this stuff. I like putting myself out and talking with folks. I have a lot of fun. If I could do this, more and more, I think it keep me from falling in some sort of depression.
You do this for therapy then?
I think I do, just like running. Isn't that crazy? But it's a lot of fun.
Podcasting or running's fun?
Both.
Yeah, I've never gotten the runner's bug. Trey keeps telling me, "Oh, just go do it, and you'll catch on." And I'm like, "Nah, I got too many bad memories of running. It was always punishment for me."
Yeah, it's it doesn't have to be running. It could be any other physical activity, whatever floats a person's interest, their boat. But it all comes down to there's a level of stuff that you can't control, and there's some things you can control. And one of those things that I can control is my run to it. So I think if I'm able to do it, then I feel okay. At least I have that much control, and I'm not that bad off. Then with doing things online, like the podcast or these recent series of videos, it's like, I'm having to sort of step out of comfort zone. I have to just put myself out there and and then see if I can have fun or not. And so far, it's been fun. If life doesn't get in the way.
Yeah, I like the online world. I find it kind of fun. It's always interesting. The behind the scenes politics of that NSNG group can be fun sometimes, can't it?
Yeah, and that's stuff we don't talk about that often. Like you and I, we're in that. We've been in that group for quite a long time, and we're both playing roles that help moderate and administer that group currently. So yeah,
right,
yeah. What is I just call it the Vinny group, the No Sugar No Grains, the Vinny Todd Rich No Sugar No Grains Facebook group. Yeah,
right. I usually just refer to it as the group. I'm involved with that group more than my own industry stuff. It's kind of funny, but my industry groups are kind of boring. Yeah, not always. We have a lot of crude humor, and a lot of stuff will fly in my industry stuff because it's 99% guys, and we don't care. I mean, you throw a meme out there that's off color. Well, we don't. We don't care. We just scroll past if it's not our thing, or if it's very blatant. We just handle it and tell each other, you're being a dickhead. Pull it down.
Yeah,
that was uncalled for.
Yeah, without that.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of crybabies.
Without that group, there's a whole lot that I wouldn't know. There's a whole lot I wouldn't have become, and as far as getting healthy and stuff, and all of the friends and relationships that have come from it. Like, we wouldn't have known each other, would we? And your brother,
no,
Trey,
No.
You know, Rick Bentley, Mark Rogers from the Simply Human podcast. Yeah, a lot of folks.
Yeah, those boys, I leave them voicemails all the time, and they used to play a snippet or two every now and then. They haven't played a snippet forever. And I was like, you don't play anybody. I even have my daughters leaving them voicemails and saying poop and I don't know what all to be silly, and they haven't ever played them. I thought they, you know, when my daughter was telling, I don't know what she said, but it was funny. It was all get out and clean for Mark and everything. And yeah, I was like, didn't even get a mention that I am even roping my daughters into leaving them voicemails.
Oh, that's so silly. They should just throw it in there.
I told him one day, like, you need to like just have nothing but a show of me leaving your voicemail.
Leave them
would be short.
Leave them a voicemail as if you're leaving a voicemail for a Ruel's Running podcast, and then leave a voicemail on my line that you're leaving as if you're leaving it for the Simple Human guys. And then we're like, hey guys, I think I got your message by accident. You know, like the whole mailman thing. Like, hey neighbor, I got your mail by accident.
Yeah, I got a neighbor that I get her mail all the time. She is so hateful that I don't even give her mail. Makes me hateful too, but I'm like, you're so mean. I don't even want to walk into your yard and give you your mail. Is that bad? Am I a bad neighbor? I think I might be.
So what do you do with this stuff? Do you just like leave it in your mailbox for the mailman to realize, oh, it wasn't supposed to be here? Or you just like dump?
Well, sometimes I'll shred it for her. Sometimes I'll throw it away. Sometimes I'll let the mailman run it next door and let him figure out why I'm not walking the 30 yards to her front door.
Yeah. I mean, if you know it's junk mail is junk mail, and then personally, I wouldn't spend the time. But if it looks important, like a bill or something, then I just leave it out by the neighbor's mailbox. I don't even want to like open up the neighbor's mailbox. I feel like I'm invading their personal space by even doing that. So I just kind of like I just wedge the edge of the envelope off the side of their mailbox for them to figure out.
You're funny. I'm a dickhead, so you know it's par for the course for me. No, she's just rude. You know, one of those that we're out barbecuing with friends and family over, and she'll leave her dogs barking, going ape shit for 45 minutes. Like, really? Put your dog up. It's not that hard, lady. Like, she's just weird.
Coming up, Rue gives us something else to think about. How vague is that, Ruel? Geez. Could you be any vaguer, Ruel? Well, it's all coming up on Ruel's Running.
Hi, this is Vinny Tortorich from the Celebrity Fitness Trainer podcast. And Ruel asked me to come on and tell you guys all about my new product at PureVitaminClub.com. We now have Pure Magnesium. It is a broad spectrum magnesium. Now, I know what you're saying to yourself. What does broad spectrum mean? Well, look, if you go in the grocery store, you can buy the cheap stuff. It usually only has carbonate or citrate, usually one of the two. Because those are the cheaper forms of it. But you know what? Those forms are good, especially when you add carbonate and glycinate and taurate. Oh, did I say that wrong? No, I didn't. And then citrate. You add those four together, and you have a broad-spectrum magnesium. It's a more well-rounded magnesium. And guess what? We put nothing else in it, folks. That's it. No byproducts, no fillers, no sand, no nothing. Just what you want. PureVitaminClub.com. Go check out the broad spectrum magnesium. I think you will love it. Once again, I'm Vinny Tortorich, and check us out.
Thank you, Vinny. Friends, you can get your supply of Pure Vitamin Club's daily multicap or broad spectrum magnesium. Go to ruelsrunning.com/vitamins. I'll link to it on the show notes and get your supply today. you just reminded me. I'm parked out in front of a Starbucks, right? I'm sitting in a vehicle podcasting with you. Earlier, I was parked in a different spot closer to the outside seating area of the place because I figured I want to get closer to the building to get better Wi-Fi. And I had been sitting there for a while. I was doing some work and stuff on the computer while sitting in the vehicle, with the engine on because I had the AC running. And at some point, a lady walks over to my vehicle and she's like, "Do you mind?" I'm like, "Wow."
What were you doing that would make her do that?
Like, "Do you mind? I'm trying to have a conversation here." She was sitting in front of my vehicle. There's table set. My vehicle was facing the building, but there's tables and chairs right. And she was sitting with a friend, and they were having a conversation. Apparently, when the AC kind of cranks and then tones down, cranks again. Apparently, it was bothering them to a point where she had to come up and say, "Do you mind?"
Wow, that's kind of rude.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, I wasn't sitting there trying to intentionally annoy them, And what happened to, hi, right? And asking politely, would it be okay if I asked you to maybe turn off your engine or maybe relocate your vehicle to a place because, and this is what I'm trying to do. So I'm like, yeah, okay. Sorry about that. I backed up and I moved over, and then I got in my vehicle and I yelled over across the parking lot to them like, "Is this okay?
Wow.
Sorry about that." And her friend was an older woman, so I didn't want to be like a total jerk or anything. So I somehow managed to appease my personal need to be like yelling, but not coming across as a dick, just trying to be more courteous, if that even makes any sense. Man.
Oh, you're funny.
Freaking people, man. Ugh.
Yeah, people are rude. They're inconsiderate.
Yeah, don't they know that I'm trying to set up the podcast? I'm just going to talk about them over. Well,
I'm sitting here stealing Lowe's Wi-Fi right now.
Well,
I do that a lot.
Well, do you ever buy anything at Lowe's?
Almost daily.
Yeah, you're not stealing it.
So my vehicle sitting here doesn't make any look at me funny. That's for sure, because I'm here almost daily.
Yeah, you're a customer almost daily, and your purchases help provide that network infrastructure that they've made available for patrons. Same with Starbucks. The amount of coffee that I drink over at their places, Wi-Fi, I help with.
Yep, I get it. Yeah, I drop a few $100s almost every day here.
How are you doing on time, Lonnie?
Every day. I'm doing okay. I don't even know what time it is. My commitments that I had at 4 have fallen through, so my wife's picking up my daughters, but I'm good.
Okay, it's been 45 minutes. I just wanted to make sure because I know that you are a busy guy.
Some days I am. Some days people ask me, "What do you do?" You're online all day long. Well, I either have guys driving me around, so I'm Facebooking, or I check my Facebook when I'm at a stoplight. But I'm either like really tied up and really busy, or I'm really flexible and sit around a lot of the time. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason to my day. It's just sometimes the guys are doing the demo or doing the work for me, and sometimes I have to go do it too, and just varies every day. Day by day, it's never the same day twice.
I released another vlog video yesterday or last night, and you know what I'm talking about.
I missed that one.
Yeah, that one. That's
yeah, talking through your crotch or something.
Yeah, it's crotch cam. But the most recent one that I released, you got a shout out on that one.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, talking about Lonnie and restoration while I talk to a camera on my crotch or by my crotch. Yeah, I thought take a look at it. I think you'll appreciate it.
Is that on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube on the little thing that I got going on over there. So silly.
Do you have your own channel there?
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it all out. You know, all the kids today, they're like really into it. But I think so. I think it's Ruel's Running channel. Yeah, it's youtube.com/Ruel's Running. then what I did was I just tried to separate all the other bits of videos that I've done over the years, like the Villa Capelli and the Pure Vitamin Club unboxing type stuff and jump rope videos.
You're right.
So I set up a playlist called Ruel's Running Vlog, and that's where I'm sort of trying to sort all of these vlog-related videos. So it was RERV for Ruel's Running Vlog, number 8. Random Gear and Coffee Yet Again is what I called it. And in there is a shout-out to yours truly, Lonnie.
Ruel's Running?
Yeah. Here,
I'm doing a search right now while we're talking.
And I'll ping you because this is awesome. This is awesome.
Well, Ruel's Running's not popping up nothing.
Do a youtube.com/Ruel's Running.
Okay. Well, this is great podcasting, though, isn't it?
It's incredible.
Ruel's, is it two words on your name?
It's a.
Do you separate it?
Oh no, it's all one word. YouTube.com/Ruel's Running.
Ruel's.
RUELS RUNNING. Wee. Then you'll see.
Guess you need to tag me because I'm not finding it.
You'll see a half naked image of me.
I do see a Ruel Rules Ninja Warrior UK video I could check out.
I'll text message you the link. Is that okay? Is that going to mess up what we're doing here?
I don't think so.
There you go.
Oh, wow, that was fast. That was fast.
I heard.
So let me ask you a question. Trey, I was talking to him last night, and he didn't realize that I talk to so many NSNG members on a daily basis like I do. How many people do you talk to from the group?
Not that many. I talk to you. I talk to Bentley, Rick. Then there's the chat. Oh, there's Thompson I talk to, but not regularly. I mean, you're the most regular of the group, but then everybody else is more of a chat session.
Gotcha.
Thompson, Bentley.
Yeah, there's several chat sessions going on around.
Yeah,
Me, you, and Vinny, and Trey. The admins.
Yeah.
They. We got our thing, and Buzz Park. That's kind of funny. He's a real person.
Yeah, the myth is real. The legend.
Yeah.
Buzz. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm working with them on trying to get a link set for. Vinny wants to charge people for the meetup. Speaking of which, you need to go. But anyway, so like here it is time, and everybody's like messaging me. I was getting 5 or 6 messages a day, like, Fly, I'm trying to pay, but there's no link. And I'm like, oh, I assumed that Vinny would have had that fixed and taken care of. Well, no, Buzz and I are working through trying to get links set up so that people can pay to attend the meetup this October. It's kind of funny, but those of us that know Vinny just understand that that's just how it is. But it's hilarious to me.
It's in October, right?
Yeah, October 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one because the kids are in school. So I wouldn't be able to do a whole family thing.
No, and kids probably couldn't do the hike and stuff like that. I don't know what all me and Vinny and Anna have tossed out ideas around. We got some stuff already kind of scheduled and planned out, but then we're trying to come up with some other stuff to do.
I mean, I definitely would love to be there. Just, probably not going to happen. Money-wise, schedule-wise, it's just pretty complicated.
Well, I understand that.
Yeah.
You should drive down, though. Take a day off. Drive down Friday. Hang out Friday night, Saturday night, go home Sunday.
I try to not let it break my heart because I know when we spoke last year on the podcast, he's like, you got to go. I'm like, okay, all right. And that was a year ago. You figured I'd be able to figure it out between now and then? Like, just just, not going to happen. I need to make a lot of money, and then it'll probably make it a little easier, but currently that's not what's going on.
Yeah. I hear you. Some days I have more money in my pocket than I know what to do with, and then there's other days that, I'm needing to borrow money to put gas in my vehicle. Kind of funny.
Yeah, lame. But
yeah, people don't realize in the business world that, I pay like $16,000 a year in insurance between my commercial liability, my pollution control, my inland marine, my renter's insurance, all this crap. I feel like I'm getting raped every day. People don't realize that, when you pay $16,000 a year just to have some coverage to protect your tools and your, if I leave a house too wet or molded up or somebody gets sick or injured or dies, and that's not cheap. It's not cheap at all. Not cheap.
Wow.
So, it would freak you out. My wife freaks out when she hears numbers that I tell a guy, stop by the job site tomorrow and I'll write you a check for $22,000. She's like, what? We don't have $22,000. I'm like, we don't as a couple, but my business does over here because I'm making money. If he's charging me $22,000, I'm making more money. That's just how the contracting world works. I'm a very specialized contractor, so I'm making 10 to 20% off of whatever he's charging me. So, so I make $2,000 off of him. Big deal, just how the world works. Speaking of which, I got to bring in an asbestos contractor to get rid of asbestos in this mold job of mine, and I'm going to make money on that, even though I'm not doing it. I don't have that level certification for asbestos to handle what they're doing. So anyway, and there's only one outfit in town.
Yeah, I've been getting your pics and used to get your videos, but it just still blows my mind the type of stuff that you gotta like break apart and inspect and deal with. What was that last one with the jerky?
That was funny. I still don't know where that came from. But I was cleaning air ducts, and the dude had a dead bird laying in his cold air return of his air conditioning system at home. Like, wow, I bet that smelled good when it was dying.
Wow. It must have been like over a small amount, over little by little as it started to just sort of become what it became. You described it as a mummy, right? But
yeah, it was mummified. It'd been in there for many years.
Did it smell like anything?
Oh yeah, you've never smelled a dead animal?
I have, but I'm thinking like, did you walk into his house and think, oh, there's something clearly dead up in there?
No, this thing had been dead. Animals, when they die in nature, there's bugs and beetles and flies, all the animals and critters and insects that eat dead stuff. Well, so the smell goes away when you see deer on the side of the road. Yeah, it'll stink for a day or two, but if you notice after like 2 or 3 days, it don't really stink that bad. Well, when it's inside of a wall cavity or crawl space or somewhere where beetles and the bugs can't get to it, it stinks to high heaven for a long time. It can be there for months and months and months, and people pay me dearly to get rid of dead animals. I was just there to clean his ductwork. I wasn't there to get rid of a dead animal. It didn't stink at all. He just had lived there for 5 years and had never changed his air filter, and they were filthy and nasty. So that's all I was there to do, is just clean ductwork. And I opened up his furnace system, and there's your dead bird. It was huge too.
So you took a picture of the dead bird. Did you leave it with him, or did you take it with you and dump it back in your thing?
I took it with me. I can't leave him with it. I did text him and say, "Hey, looky what I found." He says, "What the hell is that? Is that a bald eagle?" I mean, it looked kind of big, but no, it was a sparrow, or I don't know what it was. Nothing real big.
When I was in high school, you know how it is in high school. You kind of run around with your own little group of circle of friends and cliques and whatnot.
Sure.
So, same thing when I was in high school, and every year there was this tradition of what's called war games, where each group would basically do pranks on any of the other groups,
Oh wow, that sounds fun.
Yeah, so
sounds dangerous too.
Water balloons and a lot of that stuff. I think that's sort of the origin of it, because for years it had happened before I was even a participant in high school. But it started with water balloons. Then it started to get a little weird. Like people would put urine in the water balloons somehow.
Yeah.
And so they would be throwing urine-filled water balloons. And then it evolved.
That took some work to do.
Oh yeah, you can imagine sticking it in some sort of pump, the grossness, and then somehow getting it in a water balloon.
I would put it in a funnel. I'd put the tip over a funnel and pee into the funnel. And that's just nasty, though. That's gross.
A lot of pressure needed to get a good, tight water balloon expanded. But it evolved into you take a newspaper and you stick it in a bucket of water, then it becomes just like mush, right?
Oh yeah.
So then water balloons, pee water balloons, and then mush. So you throw it on people, you throw it on their cars, just that, and it's just prank after prank after prank, in the name of your group. Then it evolved to let's meet on a field and square off. Like you would have several sets of subgroups become a larger group and take on another. It's like, ever watch that movie The Wanderers, or those gang movies?
Yeah. It's been decades, but
gangs of kids just going at it with water balloons and mushy paper, and it was crazy. Then it evolved into kidnapping, where someone would have to make rules, and then crazy people would make rules where, like, at any point, it doesn't have to be in school now. If someone sees you out in public, they get to kidnap you, take you to a place, and then just like bombard you with water balloons and this newspaper junk and whatever. But they have to return you back to where they kidnapped you, all like messed up. So you would fear for your safety, because anybody could just like steal you out in public.
Kidnap you off the street. Wow.
Then it evolved to not just water balloons and pee water balloons and wet paper. It became like someone had like the fecal matter from their ranch, like the chicken poop and the rabbit poop and stuff, and the slop and poop that came from the pig pens and stuff. So,
I would be
the more crazy pit kids would collect that type of stuff, and then that became like ammo. It's just weird. Yeah.
Almost sounds like my college fraternity days.
Exactly. It even it's like some of the younger generation, when I was playing with it, they would just get really crazy. They would come to the field when we would have these field battles with like roadkill. Right? And like hold it up and start screaming like primal. And so then, they would like charge at you with some roadkill, and you'd run away, and that made their group feel like, yay, we're winning the battle.
And then somebody had to top that.
Yeah, so one day, I find roadkill. I'm like, well, I'm going to pick up this roadkill, and what can I do with it now? So I pick up this roadkill and have it dangling outside of my car while I drive over to somebody's house who's from one of the other groups, and I just dump the thing on the hood of his car and drive off. Yeah.
Damn, Ruel. That's funny.
I don't know what to say other than just really did some stupid stuff in high school, but it was a ton of fun.
That reminds me of one time when I was about 13 years old. I had an old lady that lived across the street. I never knew her name. We never bothered each other, but for whatever reason, me and my best friend, we decided to go. We lived on a mile-long street, and the newspapers, we were out after curfew. We snuck out of the house. The newspapers were already thrown out on the sidewalks, and for whatever reason, we decided that it would be hilarious to go steal everybody's newspaper and pile them all up on this lady's front doorstep. That cracks me up to this day, because she did nothing to provoke us. I have no idea what her response was. Could you imagine the newspaper like, where's my paper? Where's my paper? For 100 people that lived on the street, and they were all on this one lady. And then she calls and says, I think your newspaper guy over-delivered. Oh, that still cracks me up to this day. That I don't know whatever transpired. We never got in trouble. Never put there before or after. Just whatever. We just decided to pile them all up on our front doorstep.
Oh yeah, no,
that's good times.
That's good stuff. They're right there.
Yeah, nobody got hurt. Yeah, it was inconvenient for somebody, but you know, it was good humor. I hope she thought it was funny. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know whatever happened to her.
Yeah, the neighbors will be like, I don't see my paper today, and then someone else will say, well, go over to so and so's house. It might be over there. That's kind of like the running joke now, right?
I guess I haven't lived in that area for 20 some years, but almost 30 years probably. I don't know. Long time.
Yeah, I wasn't as cool. My friends were known to do things like get like, what do you call? They're not fire. Well, I guess they're like fire extinguishers, but they don't have like the powdery chemical that goes in fire extinguishers. It's just a canister that you fill up, and then there's a little valve on the back end on the neck that you pressurize using like a gas.
With water?
You can put water in there, then you would close it up, and then you could take like a gas station tire air pump, and then add pressure into it.
Never heard of that one.
Then, just like any old fire extinguisher, you press on you pull on the handle and valve, and it shoots whatever the content is in there out the hose. You know, as powerful as you're able to build pressure in there. So it's very basic. It's like the best squirt gun you can find, right?
Sure.
Someone takes it from a school grounds, and my friend has it, and he fills it up with things like soy sauce and water and fish sauce and right, cooking oil or whatever, just some weird kitchen concoction, and seals it up, pressurizes it, then drive towards the tourist strip, and drive slowly by folks on a sidewalk, yell out to them, they turn around and squirt and drive off.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know what this episode has turned into. It's sort of like confessions of the most stupidest stuff that we used to do in high school.
Yeah, in college, I actually hosed a pledge down one time with a powdery pressurized fire extinguisher. He actually got kind of sick.
Yeah, that can't be good.
Actually, he got really sick.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's too funny. He was sleeping, too. We just broke into his room and he was about to get sprayed down with this yellowy, greenish yellow powder crap.
Oh, man.
Oh, we were mean. We were so mean.
What do you do?
Oh, it's good times, though.
What do you do? Like he ingested or something? And
Well, yeah, he was, sleeping, and he gets doused with this powder that goes everywhere, and then we made him clean up his own room and vacuum it all down because everything had this powder all over everything. It goes everywhere. Oh, those were the days. I loved college.
Yeah, we get that type of college behavior sometimes at the office. Folks, certain departments are more college-like than other departments, and I've seen pictures of people's cubicles all covered up in tinfoil.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like everything is their keyboard, their monitor, their chairs, everything. Every little bit is covered up in foil.
Oh, yeah, I actually have a fraternity brother that is a lieutenant colonel in the Army, but he would leave to go to the dining hall, and he'd be gone 30 minutes or whatever. We'd break into his room, and literally everybody, just nothing planned, just sporadically, this one guy, we would break into his room. We would steal everything out of there, mattresses, clothes, liquor, everything, his school books, his entertainment system, stereo, TV, just empty them out, and we'd just throw it in whoever's room had the most, whichever bedroom had the most room for his crap. We were just stashing it everywhere, and then we'd all go sit back down like we were doing whatever, studying and playing video games, and he'd come in, he'd be like, "What the fuck? Again? Where do you guys put this stuff?" You just had to have been there, but it's hilarious to think that, here he is, lieutenant colonel in the Army, about to retire, and we used to mess with him so bad. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm cracking up thinking about that.
I have one. I worked in a photo lab years ago, and I had a remote photo lab, with the film developer equipment and the printer and development equipment. And I worked with a couple guys at a time, and we had a small fridge in the building. It wasn't really even a building; it was just a container. There was like those 40-foot containers that sit on the back of trailer trucks, just converted into a lab. Anyways,
yeah,
we
wow, that seems kind of shaky.
Take photographs, drive back, print them, process them, develop them, print them, package them, drive back out, sell the pictures, take more pictures, do this over and over and over again. I worked as a photographer for a tourist attraction, like a submarine type touristy thing back in the island.
Huh.
And we used to do little pranks with each other in the lab, and we'd take the person's car keys towards the end of the day, and we'll stick it in the freezer, and then they just go bonkers. Look, where are my keys? Where are my keys? They got to do my run. Where's my keys? I'm like, I don't know, man. Why don't you check the freezer? It's kind of stupid, but they wouldn't check the freezer until they finally checked the freezer. And they're like, what the heck are my keys doing in the freezer for? And I'm like, we told you to check in the freezer. You should have listened.
Oh, man. Here, I guess this is turning into just topping each other with funny prank stories, but here's one that still cracks me up to this day. I was an unruly child growing up, and I was in school suspension. They put us in an isolated room. All the kids that were in trouble, we had different bathroom breaks and lunch breaks and everybody else. So this particular day, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but I decided on each and every one of my bathroom breaks that I would go in and I would pee on all the toilet paper rolls. So in my high school, they had stalls, but they didn't have doors on them for I guess a whole host of reasons. So lo and behold, I'm in there taking an actual leak in the urinal because I'd already peed on all three stalls throughout the course of the day. And so the very last stall, there was some guy, he had diarrhea so bad, it was disgusting. You got to be desperate to take a crap at school anyway, and then when you don't have a door on it, you got to be desperate. So I knew I'd just pissed on his toilet paper within the hour, and on my way out, I flipped the light switch off. And knowing that he was really not in a good spot it still cracks me up. I don't even know who the dude was. I didn't go and peek to say, "Peekaboo, I see you." I have no idea. It could have been my best friend. It could have been the worst enemy that I had. It could have been a teacher. I don't know who it was. But I remember flipping that light switch off on him and walking out the door like, went back to class like no big deal, because whoever that was, they're not going to tell a soul that they had wiped their ass with piss-soaked toilet paper.
Yeah, that's kind of like, that's a new show.
No, that's cracked
What would you do? And then you have all these, okay, what would you do? You have diarrhea and you're sitting in a bathroom. Somebody turns off the light. But little do you know that same person also urinated on the roll of toilet paper that you're about to use, but you haven't used it yet. I feel bad, but I still crack up. I mean, that still has me laughing to this day. And that's, I graduated high school in 93. So this was 92, 93, somewhere in that range. 25 years later, I'm still cracking up with it. And it was all I could do to keep from just busting out in class the rest of the day, because I was dying laughing. And I didn't tell a soul either, because, you can't tell on yourself, because what if it gets around? Yeah, that's good. But now that story lives forever in this podcast.
Yeah. I think I've told it one other place before. Oh, man, that's funny shit, though. That is hilarious.
But seriously, what do? Do you kind of not deal with yourself just so you could turn on the light, then head back to the John to deal with yourself? Or do you navigate through the darkness to clean yourself up and then worry about turning the light back on?
I don't know.
Huh? You don't win either way.
Yeah, I guess I would sacrifice my underwear and turn. I don't know. I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, just flip that light switch went off, and I I was dying laughing.
You know that guy walked out and he was looking at everybody in the eye. He's trying to figure out somebody who flinches. I know that's the guy.
Oh, man.
But
I doubt he could look anybody in the eye because he has like brown trout hanging out of his ass and he's too embarrassed. I don't know who. Like I said, I don't know who it was. It could have been a friend of mine. I don't know who it was. Oh, Ruel, I think we just took a really bad turn.
no, it's excellent because you think about it, like the mind of an, I don't know, would you say adolescent? Is that the right description for that age?
Oh yeah.
The mind, how it really is wrong. It can go wrong, but it's just so funny.
Oh, it's hilarious. Oh.
Mine isn't as exciting, but I remember one time, and this is my adolescent mental brain. No rhyme or reason, kind of like there was no rhyme or reason why you decided to saturate each one of those rolls of toilet paper in that bathroom. Mine was just walking into the mall. There was an elevator, and it's just a 2-story. It's just 2 levels in this mall. I walk into, I think, what might be the only elevator in the mall. I get in, doors shut. I pee in the elevator, get out of the second floor. Right? No reason, just
to do it.
Like some weird idea, just some weird notion comes in my head. I'm like, okay, do it.
Yeah.
Don't even think about it. Just do it, and then done.
I've taken a piss before in the changing room at JCPenney's before. That was kind of along the lines, just needed a pee, no rhyme or reason. I could have walked to the bathroom, but I was right there. I just pissed in the floor.
Yeah. So if there are any younger listeners that happen to be tuning into this episode and realizing, oh my gosh, what a bunch of morons these guys are, it's all about having fun in life. Don't hurt anybody as much as possible. And don't get caught.
And don't get caught, right. Did you ever fork a yard?
I don't even know what that means.
Well, we used to go buy, however many packages of disposable forks, and then we'd go drive them all into people's yards. We would empty out 10 packages in somebody's yard, and it would be random again. We wouldn't even know who they were. They didn't, we were 6, so we were mobile, let's say. We were just driving around one night. We were like, hey, let's go fork their yard. We fork people's yards all the time.
So it's the alternative to tissue papering a house, TPing a house.
Same concept.
You just have forks jabbed into their lawn, and it looks as impressive as a.
There would be hundreds of them. I don't know how many came in those packages. 50, 100 of them. I don't know. We'd go buy 10 of them, so there'd be like 1,000 forks in somebody's yard. Can you imagine what they were thinking in the next morning?
Were they all color white?
Yeah, they were all white. We just randomly...
Yeah, right? It's like...
Randomly drive them into the ground, sticking up, with the handle sticking up. Good time.
Yeah. It's like those paper darts that people would somehow launch and stick on the ceiling tile of the classroom. You know what I'm talking about?
The what?
They fold paper into these darts.
Oh, yeah.
Enough so that there's a pointy tip, and then kids could somehow you whip them up with their fingers, launch it with their hands, and get them stuck on a ceiling tile. Could never do that.
Oh, what I did in high school with those ceilings. Oh man, you're bringing out some memories I hadn't thought of in a long time. I used to pass a note around every so often in class. Look at the footprints on the ceiling and pass it on, like, here, pass. And I would just sit back and watch everybody stare up at the ceiling trying to find the footprints.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Oh, I love that kind of stuff. That stuff just cracks me up like to no end. Oh, man. Yeah, you couldn't pull it very often because it would get around very quick. But, yeah, about once a year I would hey, pass this on. Look at the footprints on the ceiling. And the teacher one time was like, what is everybody looking up at? Because the whole class was looking up.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's classic right there.
There was the one time a friend we went to high school with had one of those smaller hatchback cars, and this is when all of us are old enough to drive and have drive to school and park in the student parking lot and whatnot. He had a smaller vehicle, and a handful of our friends would we would get a hold of the vehicle and bounce, with its springs and suspension, kind of count off and let it bounce. We'll hold the bumper down and let it bounce. Like count to 5 or something, and on the upward motion rebound, we would pick up part of the car, and we would get the car to a point where we would get it to change the direction it faced when it parked, or some oddball direction.
We've done that a time or two.
Oh yeah, and then
S10 pickups work great. We would go in college in the fraternity. We would all go out to eat, and somebody would park, had their S10 pickup there, and 6 of us would grab his back bumper, pick up the whole thing, turn it sideways, and we're at a public place, and he had to wait for people to come out to let the neighbors move out so he could drive off. And we all left and left him there, and he's like, "What?" And this is pre-cell phone days, so we're like, "Hey, Troy, what took so long?" We all walked out together. Like, fuck you guys! I mean,
good.
That's good time.
Yeah,
that's good time.
But when you do,
we've done the same thing.
When you do that, you got to look out for retaliation from the other kids, the other group.
Oh yeah.
In retaliation to the moving of the picked up vehicle, a friend had his vehicle covered in bumper stickers, Pepsi Cola bumper stickers all over the one side of his vehicle that he had rust holes at. So they basically helped him cover up the holes, but now he just was branded with Pepsi Cola all over the place.
You all did that?
Yeah, that's stuff that happens.
That's funny. Put it on the passenger side so you don't see it.
There was this one time. It was I was like about to crap my pants because we were in the student parking lot, and we had in the spirit of war games, we had smeared junk all over the windshield of some other group members' vehicles, and one of the parapros who was kind of cruising and monitoring the parking lot, he saw us, and he was in a vehicle, so he drove over across the parking lot to where we were, and he tried to catch us. And we were in a vehicle ourselves. My friend had a hatchback, a smaller vehicle, and the dude, the parapro, was trying to like block us off from hitting the exit. And we're like, oh man, we're busted. We're gonna get in trouble, right? And it so happened that the fence that we were facing at one moment was the vehicle was facing this big old cut in the chain link fence. And my friend I was driving was like, he says, "Hey guys, look, should I?" So I was like, "Go!" And
you did it.
And he gunned it right through the chain link fence. Split. It was already split, but the vehicle just kind of opened it up, and we went right through that fence.
Oh no!
And we drove off, and we're like, "Yeah!" It was so awesome. The feeling of like that excitement of, oh my God, we're gonna get busted. No, we're not. We just escaped, and we left that fool parapro. He was basically a high school dropout. That was from that high school, who had somehow managed to become a parapro, and we weren't gonna let that moron catch us. But we returned later on that day with a different vehicle, and there were cops on the scene, and I think someone was trying to file a report. No one's vehicle was harmed other than just a bunch of like goopy stuff on the windshield, which was part of the whole game.
Just a car wash.
Yeah, it was just part of the whole game, But we made that idiot feel like an idiot for sure.
Well, Ruel, I think we've officially talked about nothing for about an hour and a half now.
I love it. Thank you very much for spending the time. It felt good.
Yeah, you need to call Anna now, don't you?
Yeah, I've got some time. Yeah, we'll do that. Thanks for hanging out with me.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out on for the sake of.
Anytime. Tell Ruel or tell Anna and Vinny I said hello.
Yep. I will. That's for sure. So you do what you do, I'll do what I gotta do, and we'll stay in touch.
All right, we'll see you.
Thanks, man.
And bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Ruel's Running Podcast with Ruel. If you like what you just heard, share it with your friends and your enemies.
Go get your life back to normal. Lonnie with Restore It Restoration.
This is another Coffee with Heavy Cream production.